I think she's gonna kill someone for sure. She is gonna live. I could see him killing someone.
It ends here!
I don't know what that was. Welcome back. We are mid-trial. We just figured out that Kiyo killed both Angie and Tenko, so let's just keep going. No evidence. There's no evidence that he killed Angie?
You're wrong. There is evidence.
Uh-huh, okay.
What? You do realize bluffs like that won't work, yes?
The weapon that was used to knock Angie unconscious in the empty room. That weapon tells us the whole story, Kiyo.
The gold sword? Was it the gold sword? I don't actually remember.
That's not possible. I think you may have misunderstood. Apologize. Come on, apologize.
Okay.
Apologize. Apologize. Apologize.
Come on.
What the
Apologize. Apologize, apologize, apologize.
Seriously, what the hell's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's happening with Kiyo, but I know what weapon he used on Angie. I have to prove it to him.
You have no proof that Korekiyo is the killer.
Removed floorboard?
It ends here!
Removed. Is that what he said? I don't know what that was. I don't need to see all that.
Kiyo hit Angie with the same floorboard used in the seesaw trick.
Oh, okay.
I see. And how do you know the floorboard was the murder weapon?
Because there was blood dripping off of it.
There was a small patch of dried blood on the underside of the floorboard.
Or no, dried blood, yep.
Blood that spattered there when the culprit struck Angie with the board. But that's not the only evidence that she was hit with that floorboard. There's also the blood stain under the floor to consider.
Oh, yeah.
For that, the floorboard must not have been in place at the time of the attack.
Good point. Had the floorboard been in place, her blood wouldn't have splattered beneath it.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Kiyo's earlier confession is further evidence that the floorboard was used.
How?
If the weapon used to hit Angie is the floorboard from the seesaw trick,
It means the culprit knew about the seesaw, so the same person killed Tenko and Angie.
Okay. Okay. It's all coming together, y'all. And he's going crazy.
I believe that while Kiyo was setting up the seesaw, he was holding the board when Angie walked in.
and he cold-cocked her with the floorboard.
Wrong place, wrong time, my girl.
Accepted. You even confessed to Tenko's murder already.
Yeah. There's not really much point to holding off at this point.
It's the truth.
Looks like we're almost at the end.
Yep.
All right, Shuichi, I'll leave the finale to you. Bring down the house.
Ichi, please, put an end to this.
Okay.
For Angie and Tenko's sake. End this class trial.
Okay.
I understand. I'll go over everything one more time.
Alright.
Kiyo, I want you to confess. No, I will force you to confess.
Alright, I'm gonna see y'all in a bit. Closing arguments, y'all.
This is the truth
Here we go,
of the
y'all.
case. Let's look back at the first murder.
Okay.
It was late last night. The culprit was in the empty room on the 4th floor.
Yep.
The culprit was preparing the seance murder they had planned. To use the floorboard as a seesaw, they had to cut the crosspiece supporting it.
Yep.
The plan was
They
to
did
make
all
the
three
same
rooms.
preparations for all 3 empty rooms. This would divert suspicion away from the culprit and whoever picked a room. To cut the cross pieces, they needed a saw. I imagine they got one from the warehouse. They were planning to cut the cross pieces in all 3 rooms. However, when the culprit was working on the middle room, the unexpected happened.
Okay.
Angie walked into that room and saw the culprit making their preparations. She needed some fire for the ritual and had gone to the room for a candle.
So he just straight grabbed it and went in.
At that point, the culprit had not finished the setup and was just cutting cross pieces. Angie might not have concluded that it was tied to some kind of murder plan. But now that Angie had seen it, the culprit couldn't use the seesaw trick.
Right.
Any other person might have just given up, but not our culprit. The culprit took the floorboard they loosened and struck the unsuspecting Angie in the head.
Wow.
The culprit
It's still
did
crazy
not
to
want
think
give up
Angie's
on their
dead.
plan
I honestly
and had
really
to
thought she'd be
improvise.
around for a while. Because normally they like to keep people around that you don't like in these games. And I don't know, something about her really pissed me
They
off.
wrapped duct tape around Angie's injury to stop the bleeding. Then they picked up her unconscious body and carried her to a research lab. While she was unconscious, the culprit hurried to tie up this loose end.
Yep.
But because they were in a hurry, they made a crucial oversight.
Yeah.
They didn't notice the duct tape had peeled off.
Yo,
and
really
was under
messed up with
Angie's
that.
body. Without that evidence, we may never have figured out the culprit's trick.
Yep.
Carrying the supplies they needed, the culprit returned to the ultimate art lab. Locked the front door from inside. And took out the katana they brought from their own lab. They then stabbed Angie in the back of the neck, finally killing her.
Oh.
Then, to further confuse us, the culprit attempted to make a locked room mystery. First, they used rope from the warehouse and hung 4 effigies upside down.
Yep.
There were 2 reasons for this.
Okay.
To overwhelm the room with an occult atmosphere, and the other was the key to locking the room. The culprit stuck the katana into Kaede's effigy near the rear entrance.
Okay.
And spun the effigy around to twist up the rope.
Whew. There was a lot to this trial. This one was low wacky.
After enough turns,
Oh my
the
God.
culprit let go and headed for the rear door. Once released, the effigy began spinning, and the gold leaf katana with it.
Yeah.
The handle of the katana then hit the sliding lock, locking a difficult trick. But
Yeah.
remember that the lock was so loose it moved at the slightest touch.
I also really thought those
The
wax
culprit
effigies
also
would be
would have had
really
the
heavy,
opportunity
so
to attempt it many
it's kind of
times.
crazy that Kyo had the strength to like put all of them airborne.
Once complete, the door was locked, but the duct tape was left behind.
Yeah.
Perhaps the culprit noticed it, but by that point, it was too late.
Yeah.
The room was sealed. There was no way for them to get back inside. Then, this morning, we opened up the room and discovered Angie's body. But the culprit wasn't finished. They wanted one more murder.
I still don't understand why they needed a second one.
To do that, they manipulated us into performing this seance.
There had to be a reason for that.
Of the 3 empty rooms, the middle one was chosen for the seance. I was invited by Kokichi to take Kibo's place in the seance.
Yeah, because they wanted 4 actual humans.
Tenko volunteered to be the medium, but she never imagined it would get her killed.
Yeah.
To perform the seance, the culprit claimed they needed something for Tenko. a small stone that Himiko had brought from the courtyard. Tenko, at the culprit's request, bowed her head until it was touching the stone. That position was instrumental in making sure the murder went as planned. Next, Kokichi and I placed the iron cage over Tenko in the middle of the magic circle. The culprit then volunteered to drape the white cloth over the iron cage.
This
We
is
didn't
a
realize it at
lengthy
the
one, my
time,
boys.
but
Damn!
That was a deliberate decision by the culprit.
Yep. I think I might move
They
this
needed
along
to
a
set
little
up
bit.
the murder weapon that would.
Yep. Puts the sickle on the top of the cage.
While they were covering the cage with a cloth, they secretly placed the sickle. Finally, 4 of us placed.
But they put the statue on top of the cage.
The culprit used the weight of the statue to keep the murder weapon in place.
I wonder if that sickle was grabbed. That must have been grabbed from Maki's lab.
After the preparations were complete, we began the seance. In complete darkness, we each stood in one corner and sang the Cage Child song. When the song finished, but our culprit had a...
Okay, and then in the dark, Kyo goes and stomps the floor.
Right after we started singing, it would have been quite difficult. They used the lines of the mat. The culprit felt...
Whew. Okay. Alright, so
And
Kyo
when
gets
the
over
culprit
here,
reached the center of the circle,
which he knew from memory, the whole circle.
they found the floorboard that had its crosspiece cut off the night before,
Yep.
then lifted up their foot and stomped down hard on the floorboard. The floorboard lifted up like a seesaw and pushed Tenko's body up toward the ceiling of the cage. Tenko was stabbed in the back of the neck by the
So
sickle on the
messed
top
up.
of the cage. She was killed right before our eyes, and we didn't even see it.
It was instant.
After committing the crime, the culprit followed the Salt back to their corner, finished the ritual, and had us light the candles. We
Yep.
followed the culprit's directions and removed the equipment.
Alright, we're gonna keep moving forward a little bit more with this. They find Tenko
and
dead.
discovered Tenko's body. And while we were all focused on the body, the culprit picked up the sickle and dropped it under the floor through the hole in the corner of the room. Ironically, the final step of the murder was unwittingly carried out by us. The culprit had planned the murder so that we would unintentionally destroy some evidence.
Okay.
That evidence was the magic circle that the culprit used to navigate in the dark.
Oh, that's creepy.
However, the culprit didn't know that Kibo had taken a picture. He really saved us.
Yeah.
Without that, we wouldn't know what changes were made to the circle. But now we know for certain. Korekiyo Shinguchi, the ultimate anthropologist. You're the culprit behind these murders.
Alright. Whoo! I can't wait to see what his punishment is. It's gonna be crazy.
That's where my detective work leads us. It all fits.
Yep. We're gonna end it right here. I know this video is a lot shorter than the usual ones. I sort of ran out of time this week. Next time, we're gonna pick it back up from where we left off. Appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, y'all already know. Make sure if y'all enjoyed the video, subscribe, leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below. I love hearing from y'all. Turn on the notification bells to get all the updates to the channel. Check out my socials, links down below in the description. That's pretty much it, y'all. Just keep looking for no more Danganronpa. We moving through. We're gonna get through this trial and the punishment for Kyo. This one was a roller coaster. I'm kind of more looking forward to the next one. This one was sort of just kind of I feel like I figured it out real quick, but that's alright. You gotta have one, you know, trial every game or so. It's just the way it goes. But alright, I'm gonna see y'all next time. I love y'all. Peace!